Hey, what's going on, guys? Ian from MaddenSchool.com. Today I'm going over a play in the run and gun playbook that I like to use to beat cover 3 defenses deep. So you can see there that our receiver gets absolutely wide open. So we're in the gun doubles formation. The play is called PA zone read. Now I believe this is only found in the run and gun playbook. So if you're using like a custom playbook, you might be out of luck and can't use this one. But if you do find yourself in the run and gun playbook, this is a play that we've went over on Madden School for a couple years in a row now. Mason's went over it in the past, and I want to give you my take on it and kind of the way I run it. But there are a bunch of different good ways of running it. You can see here that you have a tight end and the slot receiver on those shallow kind of drag crossing routes, and you have the deeper receivers on their crossing routes. That's going to put a lot of stress on our opponent's user defender because he's going to have guys going every single way, and he's not really going to know which way to go. But I like to call this when I'm expecting cover 3, and the hot routes I like to use are put the Y or triangle receiver there on a deep out route, block the running back, block the tight end, and slide protect to the left. Now this is a deep shot play, so it's going to take a long time to develop, which means that if our opponent's sending like 5, 6, 7 guys, this isn't the play to call. But if he's just sitting back there in a cover 3, dropping 7, 8 guys into coverage, this is a great time to call this play. So I motion the B receiver and then snap it right before he gets to the tight end. The reason we do that isn't necessarily to make the play work. The play's going to work regardless. It's just that crossing route needs a little bit of time to get all the way from the right sideline all the way over there to the left. So if we can accelerate that process a little bit by motioning him over there, just like, I don't know, 7 steps to the left, right before he gets to the tight end, we're going to snap it. That's just going to get that route across the field a little bit quicker than it normally would. So that wire triangle receiver on the deep out is going to hold the cornerback on the left third, deep third middle part of the, or the deep third left part of the field. He's going to hold that guy up, and then that's going to allow our B receiver to get behind him. The safety in the middle part of the field just kind of dumb out, just kind of stand around. Now the great part about this play is that you also have the extra square receiver on the crossing route going to the other side. So a smart opponent will start using the B receiver, and at that point you just go to the other side. Your X receiver is wide open, and so it kind of creates an almost impossible situation for your opponent to defend, unless he starts making a bunch of adjustments or if he gets out of the cover 3 defense. So you can see there that's a good representation of sometimes you're not going to get the play off. Like that's just kind of the risk with this deep play. I mean, you only have 3 guys on routes. You're trying to take like 5, 6, 7 seconds to throw the ball. So it might happen where you're going to get sacked every now and then, or you might have to throw the ball away. But I think that the reward is definitely worth the risk with this play, especially if you know your opponent's in like a cover 3 defense just sitting in there. And this is a good way of getting him out. Now, I also have a second way of running this against cover 3. I'll show that to you here. It's not really my preferred way, but sometimes people will get a little bit too smart and start like using safeties to try to stop it. So basically this is the second way of running. This is how I run it here. I like to slide protect to the right. It's all the same setup except for I'm going to put my tight end on a fade route now. If I can get the time, this play takes even longer to develop. What's going to happen is the cornerback's going to come off of our tight end to cover that crossing route, the extra square receiver on his crossing route. And it's kind of a very delayed, very late reaction. And so it takes forever for that to happen. But if you can get it, it's going to really make your opponent angry because your tight end's going to be walking wide open down the field. Now, you can also sometimes hit the X receiver if you're under pressure because you're not going to have the arm strength to be able to get it 60 yards downfield to your tight end. But I just want to go over this kind of quickly as kind of a second alternative way of beating the cover 3. This play also does a good job of beating cover 2, cover 4, man-to-man defense. I'll quickly show it to you against some of those. Again, run and gun playbook, gun doubles formation, and the play is PA zone read. Here I'll call it against, it's like a Tampa 2, cover 2, sure. I set up the exact same way. I like to block the extra guys there, motion the B receiver, make everything look exactly the same. Against the cover 2, though, your primary and really your only read on this play is the X receiver coming across the field. Now, he's going to get open every time against like the computer. A lot of times your opponent's user defender is going to cover that B receiver just because he's going to be so worried about it. But if he's smart and he knows he's in cover 2 and he knows that this is what you're doing, he can shut this play down. Now, I mean, obviously, maybe against cover 2, if you know he's in cover 2, you start putting like the tight end on a drag route, or you change the play to adjust to his adjustments. But you can probably sneak this play in at least a time or two and just throw to the X receiver against cover 2. Remember, again, this is a shot play, so you might have to throw the ball away, you might have to take a sack. That will happen every now and then. But if you get it off, you're getting at least 25, 30 yards. A lot of times you'll be getting a touchdown. So that's how it should look against cover 2. Next up, I'll go to a cover 4. Now, I do recommend only running this against cover 3. Like, if you know they're in cover 3, run this play. If you think they're in cover 3 and they happen to be in like cover 2 or cover 4 man-to-man defense, that's why I'm showing you the other things. If they're just sitting in cover 2 all game, I'm not going to recommend to call this play. Or if they're sitting in cover 4 all game, there's better ways of beating cover 2, cover 4, and man-to-man defense. But it is good to know what your reads are. If it looks like it's a cover 3 and then they just kind of bail out of it right after you snap it, well, that's fine, because then you know who you're looking to. So against cover 4, the setup's the exact same. One thing, if I know our opponent's in cover 4, is I put this B or circle receiver on a smart route. Now, this is kind of a dangerous throw, and it won't always be there. But if you can get the time, that receiver can get open deep. So I'm only going to call this, like, if I know my opponent likes to do cover 4 towards the end of a game or at the end of a half, and I just need 60 yards real quick, and I'm willing to take the risk of maybe throwing an incompletion or an interception, I snapped that one too early. Then maybe I'll try to bomb it to the B receiver, but you're also going to have the X receiver on the other side. So you have two good options. I'll show it to you here with the X receiver. You see how he gets wide open coming across the field. Now he's only going to get like 30 yards. But if you really want to try to throw it deep, you can try to bomb it to that B receiver. You can see you can get that sometimes. So I hope you guys enjoyed this free tip. We currently have our Arizona Cardinals offensive ebook and Detroit Lions defensive ebook out, and you get those all if you're an unlimited member, as well as every other ebook we release the entire year. So if you guys are unlimited members, I hope you're enjoying our content, and be on the lookout for some great new things that we have that we're developing right now around September. So until the next time, guys, take care.